Good to see my buttons are working. Welcome, welcome, one and all. Oh, hold on, I forgot to press record again. I'm terrible at this podcast thing. There we go. Welcome, welcome, one and all. I am Tom, and this is Tom's Tavern. I have no idea if I've been consistent on those intros so far. It has been quite bad. But yes, welcome. I am on my own for today. Unfortunately, my usual compatriots cannot make it, and everyone else is busy. So, I just have a sip of this. Today we're drinking Old Moot Kiwi and Lime. A very nice cider from New Zealand. It's pronounced moot, it says so on the bottle. I used to pronounce it mout for years and years and years. So, what we talk about today, we are talking about the 1973 Martin Scorsese film Goncharov. Apart from its, I'm just going to absolutely preface this by saying that this film does not exist in any way, shape or form other than in the mind of people on Tumblr. So, the way I found out about this whole debacle, my brightness is going to change because my monitor is going to be lighting up my face on and off all stream. Podcast people, consider yourself lucky you can't see that. I found out about this through a tweet by Natasha Simonova, or at Philistella, and the tweet goes as follows. While we were all lamenting the demise of Twitter, Tumblr has apparently made a fake 1970s Martin Scorsese film to have ship wars about. And yeah, well, after this, of course, I had to go and have a look at exactly what was going on. So, let's jump in at the beginning. So, apparently, the origin of the whole hashtag Goncharov thing, which, if you ask me, has really gotten out of hand. This is chronicled by La Folle on Tumblr. Then Folle as Folle, or huskyknee.tumblr.com is their blog. But actually, this is just pinned on their post. A thing. Hold on, let's see if I can find the original. A minute. Let's make sure I credit people correctly. Actually, no. No, Husky Knee is the actual original responder. Yeah, that is correct. So, this is a thread compiled by Husky Knee, as their overall blog name is. Someone anonymous asked, "I'm so confused right now. Can you explain the Goncharov thing?" And I've chronicled it. They've chronicled it, so I'm going to go through it for you. So basically, roughly a year ago, a Tumblr user called Zooticon uploaded an image of some knockoff boots they ordered online, and instead of a brand name on the tag, they have the name of a Martin Scorsese film that doesn't exist called Goncharov. The entire tag reads as follows: "The greatest mafia movie ever made, Martin Scorsese presents Goncharov. Domenico Proacci production, something like that. A film by Matteo JWH0715. And it's about the Naples Mafia, according to the tag on these boots." And then obviously the famous meme has someone responding saying, "This idiot hasn't seen Goncharov." But after this had been floating around for about a year, someone went and made a poster. And I will say it's quite a good looking poster. It's very mafia film. It's very movie poster, you know. Hard not to make a movie poster when that's what you're intending to set out to do. Let's have another sip of drink. Okay. And then, next thing that happened was there was fake reviews appearing on Letterboxd, which is a movie reviewing site. So, you got one here that's half a star that says it was painful to watch. It's disgraceful how, the people start making up characters. Katya has become like a famous non-existent character. It's quite a insane thing. The best part is people will put things like meta things in this. So here's a 1-star review. "I watched this because I kept seeing really good Goncharov. misspelling, art on Tumblr, but it's just a bunch of boring conversations and shooting, which is obviously very meta given the film's entirely fictional and there is no way they could have watched it. And yeah, once again, movie is overhyped, but I would die for you, Katya Michailov, or however you're supposed to pronounce that. I'm sorry, Tumblr. Please don't hurt me. And then, like, a whole bunch of things it started to get really, really meta. There's like a condensed timeline out there. Oh no, there's the lore master post, which we'll go over in a bit. But yeah, so there's meta-analysis been done of it. Things like talking about Scorsese's in-house editing team, remasters. Like, it's... The thing is, there's so many different laws because obviously it's entirely fictional. It is based on nothing except the loose idea of a mafia movie. So based on famous movies such as The Godfather. Goodfellas is a mafia movie, I believe. I've not watched either of those films, so I don't really know. But yeah. So anyway, there's all sorts of analyses out there. And like all sorts of things. There's hold on, where have they gone? People doing movie breakdowns of it, like literally several, like nearing 1,000-word movie breakdowns. In fact, let's see how many words this is. Let me just crack open a Word document and see exactly how many words these people are putting into this. How many words? 1,194 words of a analysis of a non-existent movie. Tumblr, you have some weird hobbies, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, okay, it's interesting because some of this is like, I've said this shit is disturbing. Goncharov the tale. Oh, people have made like fake newspaper clippings about it. Like all sorts of things. There, within like a few days of the saga starting, there was already like 5 fanfics on AO3. Although I guess given they're not fanfics in the true form of their deriving from an original work, they are technically original works in themselves. These are completely like original works of art. These fake stories that have been generated out of this saga. Delicious. I will just have a quick flick over to AO3. I did open it up just before the stream, and I wish I'd opened it on stream because my reaction was insane. Because I saw someone mention on Tumblr that there was like 3 or it was like 5 works on AO3 that jumped up to 19. When I opened it earlier, there is 550 works under the Goncharov tag, which is kind of nuts. There's ones crossed with Harry Potter. There's like all sorts of things. It's which one's the longest? Like the Harry Potter cross one's 1,000 words already. 9,000 words for the third one on the list. That's insane. 2,000 words for a 2-person dinner attended by 1. It's it's genuinely nuts what some people have been doing with this. I mean, like, fair play to them. If they want to write original works based around a fictional movie, then go for it. But the fact that this has come around so quick is kind of insane. So, yeah, there's just like a bunch of stuff. Let's go through the lore master post, or the Gonch lore, as they like to call it, apparently. Thanks, Tumblr. Hold on. BuzzFeed and New York Times do not mind this post for content. This is a Tumblr phenomenon only. Strangely enough, I did see that this exact post was posted to the New York Times website. So they didn't read the header. But yeah. So, according to all known laws of aviation. No. According to the Master Post, this is the law of Goncharov in the real world, as far as I can tell. Like, this is how this phenomena came to be. Or it's sort of like a bit like acting as if the film was real, but yeah. Goncharov was released in 1973. It was written by Matteo JWH0715 and directed and or possibly co-written by Martin Scorsese. Scorsese's big name helped popularise the film, but as a result, JWHJ0715's significant contribution is often overlooked, which is accurate because who even is this person? But Goncharov was forgotten and actually difficult to acquire for many years. This may have been due to corporations hoarding rights and access, the actual mafia targeting distribution of the film, other factors, or a combination of these. This led to the pirating of the film, which allegedly led to pirating discourse surrounding the film. Right, okay. So I'm guessing that's where some users have taken it to be more of a pirate movie than a mafia movie, and they're trying to account for that in this lore post. According to this post, there are talks of a Goncharov 2 remake. Or a Goncharov 2 or a remake, sorry. Goncharov is a mafia boss in Naples of Russian origin. His wife, fiancée, is named Katya, also of Russian origin. Goncharov may or may not have fled Russia and may or may not have been pursued, not persuaded, pursued by someone trying to get him back to Russia, possibly to face legal justice. One such person trying to do so could be Valery Mikhailov. There's no itch on the end. Valery Mikhailov is Katya's sister. He may resent Goncharov due to his relationship with his sister and due to Goncharov being wanted by the Russian government. He is somewhat patriotic, possibly a former government worker or soldier. Katya's last name is Michalova or Goncharova, although possibly with the wrong suffix. Her relationship with Goncharov is strained, tense, and possibly loveless. She ends up betraying him in the end. This is often seen as a subversion on the typical tropes of women in mafia movies, which, again, I have no knowledge, but knowing the rough culture that mafia movies evolved from, women play a heavy role in the role of what the mafia considered mafia stuff. So, yeah, that kind of makes sense. Let's see. At some point, Katya is on a bridge with Goncharov. At some point, Katya points a gun at Goncharov. At some point, Katya is injured in a boat/in a boathouse. So, yeah, this... Obviously, because this film doesn't exist, there's a lot of at some points in this story where people have written things that have happened. They've got, like, reblogged a lot. And because of that, they've become part of the Goncharov lore. I'm going to need a drink, because this is already hurting my head. Okay. So, Katya is amicable with someone named Sophia who has brown hair. She also has subsexual homoerotic tension with her. Sophia may be working class/poorer than many of the other characters are. Goncharov has subtextual homoerotic tension with someone named Andrei. Andrei is Goncharov's old friend, best friend, nemesis, enemy, competitor, depending on whose fan fiction, or just straight up fiction you're reading here. There is at least one instance of all of them trying to kill the other, so we've got like a love quadrangle kind of going on here. Then there's a character called Ice Pick Joe. He's played by John Cazale. I feel like I recognise that name. Hold on, I'm just going to look him up. John Cazale. Oh, yeah. Him. That bloke. Damn. Where's my thing? There's my thing. I was looking for the close button on Chrome. I know where it is. Yep, this was John Cazale's 6th movie. Yeah, a famous 10-minute scene with Katya, and at some point dies, also possibly by the hands of Katya. Mario Ambrosini. That's the most Italian thing I've ever heard fictionalized. Mario Ambrosini works with Goncharov, possibly as a lackey or number 2. At some point in the middle of the story, he betrays Goncharov, and Goncharov tells him that he never wants to see him, Mario, again. It is unclear what happens to him after that. Mario also has a relationship with Andrei that some have described as fascinating. It is unclear how. There is a clock motif in Goncharov, and a general theme regarding running out of time before death. Kind of like Hamilton. Hamilton, the musical, is very heavy on the running out of time things, especially in the second act. There will be an episode on Hamilton in the future. My sister Kate will come along for that because she's a big fan of musicals. So running out of time before death, obviously. There are a few characters who seem at the very least subconsciously aware of the fact they have little time until their death. The film also deals with the theme of fate, of death and tragedy being inevitable things for these characters. Goncharov dies at the end of the movie due to someone's betrayal. And Goncharov was heavily influenced by the American Cold War propaganda of the time. Some argue that it plays right into the stereotypes of Russians. Others say it is a clever subversion of the propaganda and stereotypes of the time. So, yeah, there's a big post detailing exactly, well, roughly what we know. And hold on, actually, let's just, that was put together. Let's credit nicely. tsscat.tumblr.com or Titlum Scribe, Hick, whatever that's supposed to mean. But yeah, so there is. It's quite interesting how deep this idea goes and how an internet community has completely come up with an entirely fictional film. Right, okay, so let's go back to this this main post roughly highlighting what's going on. I do kind of want to go and have a look at AO3. I'm scared to read any of these. Sort and filter. Can I sort by word count? I can sort by word count. If there's one beating the 9,000, I will be genuinely impressed. Oh my goodness, there's one with 22,000 words. I feel like this needs to be printed into a novel. It's called The Best Billionaire by Historically Inaccurate on AO3. That's genuinely impressive. If I could... I don't even know if I'd ever have time to read all that in between, doing nothing all the time. So yeah, let's have let's look deeper into this lore, shall we? Oh god. There's a bunch of like fake news articles. From they faked articles like from The Guardian, New York Film Academy, Variety. It's impressive. Questions of like subtextual homoeroticism as an analogy to Cold War politics, and the mafia, the femme fatale, and female empowerment in Goncharov. Just like that sort of thing. I don't think there's any actual text to any of these. They're just sort of fake headlines, like links you might get on Google or whatever. But people have gone out their way to make them seem as realistic as possible. Yeah, okay, so apparently all of these things, like most of these things that we've got here, a lot of stuff evolved just in the first day. Like the Ice Pick Joe stuff, all of that started happening. Like a bunch of meta essays just appeared in, the first day of this Goncharov thing starting. And then someone made a fake breaking news meme. Okay, that one's quite good actually. It's breaking news: Goncharov 2, Katya's revenge, whatever. And then because it's like in the style of the BBC ticker at the bottom. You've got the breaking news, the headline, the time, and then the subheading, which tends to be a ticker tape of just smaller news stories. And that one's quite good. I would say I put it on Twitter, but given the subheadlines context, I can't. I'll be banned. It's got something to do with a certain new owner of Twitter no longer being alive. It's quite amusing, but I'm not going to go and get myself banned quite yet. So it has been theorized that this whole thing is engineered to bring new users to Tumblr. It has strangely coincided with I'd say probably one of the two largest social media websites out there being acquired by someone who is behaving not in the original intent of the web platform's design, I'd say. I'm looking at you, Elon. You're ruining Twitter. Fuck off. But yeah, so people have figured out, or the people have been doing stuff like hypothesizing that this is a ploy from Tumblr's marketing department. If it is a ploy from Tumblr's marketing department and they've made someone write a 22,000 word post on AO3, then damn, give them a raise, Tumblr. Okay. So there is an edit to this. And apparently the boots in the original post that started this whole thing off are a reference to a movie called Gomorrah that came out in 2008. I don't know if that's real or not. I'd need to see an IMDb thing of that. Oh, Matteo. It's got the right names on it. Matteo Garon. Huh. Don't know what that's got to do with Martin Scorsese unless he was a producer. Nope, it's produced by Domenico. However you pronounce his name. Yeah, I'd say that's definitely an accurate assessment of that's what the original boots were based on. Based on the Scampia feud, whatever that is. I'm guessing between the Camorra gangs in the Neapolitan quarter of Scampia in 2004 and 2005. Right, okay, it's some sort of argument or some sort of feud in Naples in the early 2000s. Which is interesting. Very interesting. Which is okay, so there's a lot of edits to this post now with a lot more background. So okay, so this is based off of someone's done the analysis on this type of thing in true Tumblr fashion. It's very much a site for people who go down deep rabbit holes in search of information that probably isn't even there. Talking a lot. This is this is quite difficult. So yeah, the funniest thing about the original Goncharov post is that I've seen people do exhaustive amounts of research in order to discern that it is a misspelling / mistranslation of Martin Scorsese's Gomorrah, and then go, well, this explains everything, or never once questioning why it is on shoes, which I'd say, is a fair point. Why is this on shoes? And then someone goes on to say, I forgot most people wouldn't understand it on site, to be quite honest, professional blindness. The thing that matters is not that it was on a shoe, but it was on a machine embroidered or machine woven label. What happens is someone at the labels for Boots Factory ran a cool looking piece of text in a language they didn't understand through either an OCR program or any number of similar software to convert the text in a photo to a digital format that can be fed into an embroidery machine. Ah, okay. So, so the text was from the English language poster for the film Gomorrah, and it was run through optical character recognition software intended for use with both Cyrillic and Latin alphabet. So basically, how it works is a factory in generally China, other developing countries do have this thing where they produce counterfeit goods very often like it, but they run this image through software that picks out characters. And what has happened here is it's mistaken some of the characters in the font that they used for this film, Gomorrah 2008. Let's have a look. Let's get the poster up again. Yeah, there's like a particular poster that I bet they used. And what it's done is it has recognised some of those characters incorrectly. Yeah, production becomes PRDHHHCO in the original, on the patch that was on the boot in the original image. So it's obviously read, it's missed the O, and it's turned a bunch of letters after it into 3 H's. Because, optical character recognition software, especially like lower end, is absolute dog shit. Some people have made some very, very good ones. Google are making some very interesting ones for their stuff. But there's just like nothing else. They're like kind of shit, a lot of them. So it might have been ripped from a JPEG online, but given the age of Gomorrah, it was scanned off an old movie cover or movie poster, which, to be fair, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, there you go. So it's explained it's on a shoe because shoes often need a big fancy label or decal to make them pass for branded products at a glance. It's the same as like when you see a fake handbag that's supposed to be a Louis Vuitton, but it's actually Vuitton Vuitton or Boui Le Bon or whatever. It's close enough that at a glance it wouldn't be noticed, but distinct enough that it's. You could technically say it's not copyright infringement. It's Boui Vuitton, not Louis Vuitton. But yeah. So, hold on, let's have a look. Okay, so some people have been going absolutely nuts for this kind of thing. What? Okay, some of these posts are amazing to look at. There's a extremely similar but apparently unrelated Goncharov tag that someone found at a Japanese market. So I'm guessing it's one of those things that's come out of like where they put a phrase that makes absolutely no sense at all in English on Japanese clothing. We do the same over here in Britain. Superdry, for example, has absolutely nothing to do with Japan, despite the fact it says Superdry Japan on it. It is based in Britain. That's for sure. How the hell do you spell Superdry? It is based here in the UK in Cheltenham. So yeah, Tokyo via the Midlands. That's fun. Yeah, it was. Where was it founded? A cult clothing company. Yeah, in Cheltenham. So that the phrase on the back underneath the Superdry thing, I'm fairly certain is somewhat nonsensical in Japanese. So this is effectively the cultural equivalent in Japan, though, or other Asian cultures. A good video to watch on this is Abroad in Japan did a good video on English or English mistranslations, especially in shops such as Don Quixote over in Japan, which is sort of like kind of like a dollar store, but kind of not. I'm just sorry, that's really off center, and I've just noticed. Oh no, that looks off center now. Oh, I don't know. But yeah, it's a shop where you can buy like all sorts of rubbish for super cheap. It's like a pound stretcher here in the UK, or like a Family Dollar or Dollar General over in America, where you can just go there and buy all sorts of nonsense, and you get all sorts of products that make no sense in English, but they're popular over there because it seems cool and Western, like exactly like Superdry seems over here. So yeah, it makes sense that this sort of product exists. So, ba-dum. Yeah, okay, so someone actually emailed the organisation that made the company that made these boots. Bearing in mind, they'll probably make thousands of boots with thousands of different tags on them and everything. It's genuinely impressive. Okay, so yeah, this is someone who found the patch or tag or whatever in Japan, asked them if they knew the supplier to find out more about it. People have gone like super deep down the rabbit hole here. They sourced it from somewhere in Asia, so like I said, China, possibly the Philippines. Bangladesh is big in textiles. Unfortunately, due to the West's obsession with fast fashion, I say wearing a Primark t-shirt and a George shirt. But yeah, so apparently they've been making these tags since at least 2018, whereas the boots were made in 2022. Apparently the two tags or the tag and the label have similarities that make it clear they're from the same source, but enough differences that it's also clear they were made for different purposes or designed at different times. It's more likely that these tags came from the Cyrillic sphere, it's the theory. Russia and Central Asia, where they don't use the Latin alphabet, they use well, Cyrillic in true form is close to Russian, but yeah. I migrated to East. Yeah, so like people have done big, deep things on here. There's absolutely nothing on here about whether they heard back from the company that originally made the tag or anything. But that's kind of interesting that they actually found the origin of this kind of thing. So yeah, the tag has all of the same text, or well, a lot of the same text as the original patch on the boot. Oh wait, hold on. Apparently, there's a someone found the website that they likely acquired the tag from. But yeah, it has like all the misspellings and everything. But yeah, God, there's so many people have been going deep into the lore. But you can find the tags if you search for them. Oh my goodness, you can actually order them. They do exist. I'm gonna have to. So here we go. Here's where optical character recognition gets a bit weird because I'm using it here to translate Japanese into English. The tag is just labelled cool tag. Goncharov feels like paper, but is a sturdy material that won't tear unless you use scissors. And it is 198 yen, or about £2. People went out and found this. You know, like, I do some deep research on things sometimes. And this seems just a bit out of it to me. But yeah, so people seem to have found the source of where this Goncharov thing came from. Obviously, optical character recognition making a trendy Western-looking product for an Eastern market. Tale as old as time. It's how black man underwear is a thing in Japan. Because, you know, that's something we would not consider normal or even really sort of acceptable within certain spheres over here. But it's just a product in Japan you can buy at Don Quixote. Which, again, it's a strange name for a store, given it's a very famous literary character over here. Different cultures. It's very interesting. Guessing this is just the Gonch lore post. Oh no. Okay, this is some stuff. There is an anchovy scene apparently. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna say people are gonna have to go out there and read on this themselves, because every time I click on a link here, it gets deeper and deeper. Okay, hold on. Delicious. Cider. Okay, I have no idea what's going on there. Oh. Yeah. So this is where, like, all the text creativity gets blown out of the water. I'm not going to say that like one art form is better than the others, but to me, there is a hell of a difference between writing 22,000 words of fiction and writing a score for a fictional movie, recording it and releasing it. So there is a like whole post there's a master post for the score by This Is Not Julie on Tumblr, and it has like audio recordings of the main theme, the end credits, the reprise of the main theme, like a whole bunch of stuff. People have made music for this like scarily quickly. I've listened to some of it, obviously because it's all licensed to these people. I'm not going to play any on the podcast because I don't have their permission, and that would be stealing. And I don't want to set a precedent of that Time Warner might use against me one day, because Time Warner are the worst when it comes to audio licensing. Right. So yeah, there's like Goncharov theme in the mirror, the clock theme. Andre's theme, Katya's leitmotif, which I believe is a film term. As you can tell, I never actually got into filmmaking at uni. Well, I did, but I couldn't continue with the course because I hated cybersecurity. It was terrible. But yeah, there is like a scary number of musical pieces written for this film that, once again, does not exist. It's like I said, I'm not going to say that one art form is inherently more valuable than another, but it just feels a bit more insane to me. Not like, oh my god, the person who did this has lost their mind, but oh my god, people went out and did this. It's more of a shock to me that people have written music for this than written fiction for it. Because writing fiction is one of the internet's favourite pastimes. A lot of fan fictions originate on Tumblr. It is a very, very common thing. But yeah, there's like a lot, pardon me, of things. There's even bonus tracks. It's nuts. Wait, hold on. There's lore in the song. So apparently there's a song called at Goncharov's Gate PC version, which is a song written for the PC game with a Super NES port released in 1994 for PC DOS. And then there's an intro to Goncharov, the Super Nintendo version. This is like extra levels of over the top. This is what we call extra as fuck. But damn. Like, I've seen this post and I've looked at it and I've listened to some of the music, like I said, but then you go down into it and actually look at it. There's things like Lovers Fall On, which is Katya and Sophia's final goodbye, which is obviously the homo-romantic subtext between the women. Sophia's serenade to Katya, again, the same motif. It's quite it's very impressive how deep people have gone with some of this stuff. And I was still going off the same master post. It's genuinely insane. Alright, let's have a look. Let's continue down this post. Oh, there's sheet music for this that people. Oh, there's actual sheet music that people have written for the Goncharov main theme. It's only like 2 pages of sheet music, but damn, I don't even know how to write sheet music. I guess that's what makes it a bit more insane to me that people would write music for this over a written medium, because I can type, I can write. I've written blog posts that no longer exist because I stopped paying for my website. Like I've written 3,000. Well, no, I've written like 4,500 words in the space of like a day, just on She-Ra and the Princesses of Power. But people going out there and writing music, to me, seems insane. And then performing, recording, mastering, uploading, it's something else. So there's also apparently a trailer with the theme music. Someone has actually made it. I'm guessing with scenes from other movies. I'm gonna have to go and watch this. I think, yeah, that is made with scenes from other movies, but that's so impressive. Okay, so all of that stuff up to the movie, up to the movie trailer, was in the first 45 hours of the original poster going up. We're not even at the 2-day point yet. Oh, there's a Google document live compiling the lore. Oh, okay, never mind. It is gone. Someone's building it right now. They're currently putting it back together. They have a Discord server with all the information on. Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah. As of closing on the 3rd day after the instigation of what I'm referring to as the Goncharov event, there were 371 works on AO3. Hmm. Okay, so there is a TV tropes page for Goncharov. Oh my. Okay, so I'm just going to read this out to you. Goncharov is a 1973 film written and possibly directed by Matteo JWHJ0715. Yes, that was his legal name, maybe. Produced and directed by Martin Scorsese and starring Robert De Niro, Gene Hackman, Harvey Keitel, Sybil Shepherd, with John Cazale and Al Pacino. It has been called the greatest mafia movie ever made, and it follows the story of Goncharov, a former discotheque owner who comes to Naples and begins to work his bloody way up through the ranks of organised crime. In the process, Goncharov becomes entangled with the lives of Andre, a familiar face from home, and the Neapolitan mafioso Mario. All the while, his ambitious clash with that of his cunning wife Katia. This movie is very loosely based on the obscure 1961 speculative fiction novella Jestem Goncharov by Irma M. Schuss. I'm just going to have to look up and see if that's actually a thing or whether it's just more layers of this. Okay, it seems that it is another fictional thing because it just links you back to the same post and then Tumblr. So, yeah, the novella itself is now out of print. The film was similarly difficult to obtain for many years due to distribution following its initial limited theatrical run being tied up by conflicting translation rights, the existence of at least 7 alternate cuts of the film, rumored interference from the actual mafia, and a very unorthodox advertising campaign which involved putting the ads not on billboards or movie theatre walls, but on the tags for boots. Okay, that's a nice meta reference. I like that bit. For over 2 decades, many have even considered it to be a missing episode of Scorsese's canon, with Scorsese himself famously quipping that we'll probably see the day the crown cried before we see Goncharov again. He never actually said that because, again, the film never existed. The film was finally released on DVD and VHS in 1998 and has seen several re-releases since, bringing renewed appreciation for this long-forgotten masterpiece, which, again, does not exist. Although, to be fair, I have considered maybe looking into trying to figure out a script for this thing and maybe trying and pitching it to Tumblr. We'd see if we can get together and do a creative action of filming a film. We're going to need a time machine and Robert De Niro. Okay. Character lore from the person who originated the first poster. Okay. Okay, yeah, so there's the person who posted the original thing? Was it this one? Who are you? Come here. Oh yeah, creator of the Goncharov poster, the OG, the thing that sparked this all. So apparently Goncharov, portrayed by Robert De Niro, kind of fits the noir hero archetype. Mysterious origin, in love with Katia, no bullshit attitude. Mario Ambrosini, played by Al Pacino, in some ways similar to Michael Corleone. In others, the complete opposite. Thinks he's smarter than the big boss Andre and is probably right. Befriends Goncharov at some point, is of humble origin. Andre the banker at Dodano. Harvey Keitel. The chief, the boss, the capo, the big evil. Member of the Naples Mafia, I guess. Lol, lots of money, easily offended, likes mafia hierarchy and customs, likes to do things by the mafia book. Okay, yes, this is just explaining exactly who's here. I'll tell you what, this lore is insane. What we know, wait, hold on, what's this information? Okay, so now Tumblr's just, oh, there we go. Tumblr's just sometimes not loading for me now because I've got so many tabs open. This is insane. Oh, I should have done this. Probably should have written this and presented this as like a video essay type thing and then released the audio transcript or the audio. But no, this isn't the format Tom's Tavern, so. Sorry. Right, so. Okay, so people have been making up the background of Matteo JWH0715. So apparently a young queer man growing up isolated in Catholic post-war Italy. This is huge. Okay, so they've completely made up like a fake article to pull this from. Some of the titles they make up to cite things from is kind of, yeah, out there. Okay, hold on, let's have a look. Let's have a look. Yeah, okay. It's really slow to load. Okay, yeah, so fan artists and Tumblr movie theorists are being contacted and interviewed by news reporters. Apparently. Yeah, here you go. So there's like genuine news things from Insider, Yahoo News. It's like an actual link. It is an actual link. Yeah. The completely made up Martin Scorsese movie that Tumblr users are obsessed with. I wouldn't say they're only obsessed with it because they entirely created it. It is entirely a work of fiction. As I keep stating, I'm not going to lie, after hearing so much about this fake film, I do really want to see it. Yeah, end of day 4, there were 485 works in the Goncharov tag on AO3. I don't know how far we are into this whole saga. I kind of need to see the original. Is the original still up? Made by Beelzebub. November 20th. Yeah, we are in the 5th day of this saga, and there is already 550 works. I bet if I refresh now on AO3, there's more. It went up by 1 in the time I sorted by longest. Jesus fucking Christ, Tumblr. Ha ha ha. You know, it is genuinely impressive. I'm not even like, God, what's wrong with these people? I'm just here like, this is incredible. Imagine what Tumblr could achieve if they put their mind to something other than fake movies. Like, really. Okay, so we are at the end of this post now on Tumblr. Because we're only in day 5 of this saga. I do love that, like, this whole mega post appeared from "I'm so confused right now. Can you explain the Goncharov thing?" I get off Tumblr for 5 minutes, and this became like a major thing to talk about on the internet. Obviously, there's bigger things going on right now. The World Cup's going on. More people are talking about that. But I feel like this is super interesting. This is a really good look into certain internet communities. Like, this sort of thing, I would say, probably wouldn't happen on Twitter. Definitely not on Facebook. Not to this degree on Reddit. Discord's not really a social media. But it is, like, genuinely impressive. Like, how deep the lore has gone. People have been doing artwork. People have been, like, compiling all sorts of things. Oh, someone's managed to post, like, a fake of the... or, like, make fake screenshots of it. Oh, haha. Okay, this is a good meme. So someone's got Tumblr in 2012, and then it's a scene from Arthur, the Children's Kids TV. Children's Kids TV, bloody hell. The children's television channel, show even. You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell us lies? And then Tumblr in 2022, it's the scene from The Good Place where Chidi sees the time knife, and but then it's edited to say, yeah, that's the greatest mafia movie of all time. We've all seen it. If you haven't watched The Good Place, go and watch it. It is fucking amazing. But yeah, I just wanted to have a bit of a talk about this this interesting piece of internet history, because this is quite historical. This is, to my knowledge, the first time that an idea like this has really, really taken off. Obviously, certain things take off within fan fiction communities, but for an entirely original piece of fictional work to exist like this, and the best part is it's not one overarching. There's like the overarching themes are all roughly similar, but everyone's headcanon is entirely different because there is no real medium to compare it to. It's not like you can say, "Oh yeah, well you think this ship's wrong if you go and watch the movie." You cannot watch this movie; it does not exist. it will probably never exist, especially not in the form people think it is, mainly because like people from the acclaimed cast are deceased now, unfortunately. But it's genuinely insane. Again, from the same, not these people are nuts, but from the, this is just so out there. This is so abnormal. I mean, if any website was going to do it, it was probably going to be Tumblr or AO3. I mean, this is kind of AO3's thing. Their whole writing of stories. This is a very, very long story. But yeah, like this is genuinely amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, right. I see. So I'm just having a look at AO3 while I was having that rant of how only Tumblr could achieve this. And so the longest fan fiction with the Goncharov tag is actually, it's an addition to an existing tag, or an existing fan fiction. That's it. That's what I'm thinking of, from covering Batman, Iron Man, Superman, and now Goncharov apparently. I was gonna say, like, I was scrolling through here and then I saw names I recognised in the character list and I was like, hold on, this doesn't make any fucking sense. But yeah, it's it's genuinely amazing. Yeah, people have been writing Goncharov into their fanfiction. Is this entirely Goncharov based? Oh yeah, I'm happy with seeing adult content. I'm legally an adult. Okay, yeah, so the longest post I can find that is exclusively Goncharov things is only 11,440 words long. And it's 4 days old. So you know, they've still got plenty of time to go. Oh, it's an entirely fictional Wikipedia page about it. Okay, that's interesting. That's okay. Development. The role of Katya was originally created for Linda Carter, but schedule conflicts prevented her from accepting it. I did see some things about Linda Carter in one of the threads, but yeah. Yeah, they've gone and made an entirely fictional Wikipedia page, although I do kind of want to see if it exists. Wikipedia, because I imagine there will be a Wikipedia page about this eventually, but more as the phenomenon that it is from the internet. Deaths in 2022. We got the death list for that list. Thanks, Wikipedia. Goncharov. Okay, there's 2 pages later. There's for the fictional film, see Goncharov meme. Okay, thanks, Wikipedia. Yeah. Okay, well, Wikipedia is referring, or whoever authored the article on Wikipedia, refers to it as a collaborative project, which I guess it kind of is. It's a bunch of people at this point. I have no idea how many users. But given the number of notes on some of the larger posts, hold on, if we look at Husky Knee's big post, how many? 47,000 notes on Tumblr, which is interaction, reblogs and likes, that sort of thing. So yeah, at least 47,000 people have interacted with this medium of effectively crowdsourcing a fake Martin Scorsese film, which is kind of odd when you think about it. But there's like a whole bunch of like headcanons, posters, like fan recasts here. So there's Lin-Manuel Miranda as the Nater, Tobey Maguire as Ice Pick Joe, Leonardo DiCaprio as Valerie, like that sort of thing going on. Like fake movie screenshots, memes. It is just kind of something else. It is incredible to witness, really. It's one of those internet things that'll I'm hoping it'll be referenced in the future, just something to look back on and have a laugh about, because damn, the rest of the internet right now seems like a bit of a shithole. Especially with the prevalence of online ads, scams, etc. And just the mess. My hellhole of Twitter has just become way worse, so back to Reddit for me, I guess. Or now, I guess, Tumblr. Never really looked into... Well, I looked into Tumblr a little bit. My Tumblr account's a bit old, but never did anything with it because I never understood the website. But yeah, that's it. That's the fictitious Martin Scorsese film of Goncharov. It is definitely fucking weird. One of the stranger things the internet has come up with. But I think that's going to be it for today on Tom's Tavern. A bit of a shorter one than before, mainly because I'm the only one here, and I've run out of things to talk about. So next week will hopefully be a bit longer. We'll talk about the Fallout game series, me and Burridge. Maybe Kieran, I don't know, it depends if I can get his attention or not. Week after that, we're doing Christmas dinners. But yeah, there's stuff happening. I'm just going to keep scrolling through here, see if there's anything interesting. How do you all feel about the Goncharov reboot? Or yeah, let's just have a quick look through the fake Wikipedia post. The problem is it blinds my eyes because it's just bright white. So yeah, I'll just do a quick reading of the plot and then we will end it there. So after the betrayal of an unknown character leading to the dissolution of his crime ring and the destruction of his home, disillusioned mafia boss turned independent mercenary Goncharov emigrates from Soviet Russia to Italy with his wife Katya, who harbours secrets. They settle in Naples, where Goncharov hopes to leave his life of violence behind him. Katya sees opportunity where her husband does not, and she ensures that Goncharov's long-lost friend and rival for her affections, Andrei, follows them there from Torino. During the shootout, Goncharov is the last man alive, but not the last man standing. His right leg is injured during his flashback. Andrei invites Goncharov to meet him at the clock tower, but Goncharov is stalled by a chance encounter with an Italian gambler. Reminds Goncharov of his former successful money laundering empire of discotheques and casinos. That detail just amuses me for some reason. Discontent with Goncharov's new expectations of a calmer domestic life and reluctant to fulfill the traditional expectations of a housewife, Katya is unexpectedly offered an apple by a childhood friend at the market when Andrei relays an invitation to Goncharov. They will dine in a restaurant tonight at 11 o'clock. When the glass face of the grandfather clock in Goncharov's salon cracks when Ice-Pick Joe waits in the shadows with a gun, their sojourn to Pompeii has ended in disaster. As money changes hands, Andrei and Goncharov discuss wine and anchovy pairings. That's where the anchovy shit comes in. To mislead Valerie. He finds a bloodstained coat and fears the worst. Ambrosini agrees that the alliance has been... Hold on, has he even been fucking introduced? He's not even been introduced in this fucking plot yet. I'm guessing that's the Italian gambler. Anyway, where was I? Ambrosini agrees that the alliance has been successful thus far and commits to working together with Goncharov after they come to an agreement during negotiations, but Andrei is not convinced. However, it isn't until Katya throws the empty beer bottle against the wall where it shatters that Ambrosini crosses the bridge after... Yeah, I'm going to say this is getting very confusing here. Valerie accuses Goncharov of corruption, both himself and of his wife. Both of himself and of his wife. However, it is through their dance beneath the twinkling lights of the palace that Goncharov feels again the strength of his love for Katya renewed. When he spots her jewel-toned cocktail dress, Sophia's presence strikes Ice-Pick Joe as too convenient to pass up. Yeah, this kind of makes very little sense. Earlier in the film, however, he hid the watch in the same place as the gun used to kill him. When Andrei spots Goncharov and Katya at the clock tower, he is overcome by jealousy. Mikhailov? Yeah, this... I'd say this needs rewriting. Mikhailov reminds Goncharov that his fate is inescapable just before. Even though the fish in the bowl will always remain in captivity and can never return to the waters whence they came, they all have their needs provided for. The bell rings, it's too late. Goncharov looks up, it was Andrei. But what he does know is that Katya is behind him. The boat rocks back and forth. The waters of the Mediterranean Sea are uncharacteristically cold and rough. Winter has come to Naples. Okay, yes, that plot makes zero fucking sense. someone needs to tell the author of that fanfic that is nonsensical. But yeah, anyway, that is us all done for today on today's episode of Tom's Tavern. If you want to see what else we're up to, there's very limited information out there because I haven't got around to making everything yet. bluetail.media/tavern, there's stuff on there. Or on my Twitter, twitter.com/taspeed, if the site still exists. Other than that, we'll be back next week, like I said, talking about Fallout. That is us all done for today. Thank you all so much for watching/listening, and we'll be back next week. Goodbye.